guys, welcome back to my channel, Stylish Hidden Treasures. My name is Mary and I'm a full-time reseller on both eBay and Poshmark. So today we're going to have a what sold video from October 4th through October 12th. I put an extra day in there because of the holiday. Many of us made a few extra sales on that day, so I wanted to include those as well. So we'll go ahead and hop in. The first sale that we had was a Gap mini skirt. Nothing too exciting, but it was brand new with tags, and it sold for $18.49. These bread and butter items always seem to do pretty well for me. Next was this vintage pair of like bloomers. Guys, don't pass up on these types of like girdles and vintage panties and slips and things like this, because people do look for these items. So this one sold for $18. And next we have just a Calvin Klein leather wallet. It was brand new. It was part of a Macy's liquidation. Next we have a vintage Pendleton wool suit. Do not pass up on vintage Pendleton. It seems to do a lot better than the newer pieces. This sold for $24. I thought it would go a little bit more, but hey, we'll take what we can get sometimes. So that was a pretty decent flip. The next thing that we have is a Torrid baby doll lingerie type of dress. I've already got feedback on it. It sold a little bit less than I wanted. However, it sold fast and it was extremely light at the Goodwill bin. So that was a really good flip at $22. Next, these pair of Anthro jeans. They had like rhinestones all over them. They were brand new with tags. Was pretty glad to get this sale for $50. This also was found at the bins. Next thing you see is a vintage, kind of like a handmade holiday Christmas dress for girls. I pick up a lot of vintage clothing for kids, and this sold pretty good at $36.99. So definitely do not pass up on anything that's vintage, especially if it's holiday designs and things like that. Next, I've talked about this before. I pick up a lot of dance wear and costume wear and things like this. This one was for an adult, although most of what I pick up is for children. This sold for $26.96. The next thing you see is a 100% cashmere sweater. Again, I was hoping to get a little bit more, but hey, still, it was a very light item, so I paid barely anything for it at the bins, and it was in great condition. So this sold for $20.54. The next thing you see is a vintage bag. It was vegan, however, it was really cool. It had like this metal leopard emblem on the front. Once again, I thought it would go for a little bit more, but still a good flip at $23. Do not pass up on shapewear, guys. People tend to buy these pretty quick. They're not that cheap when you buy them in the store, so whenever you can find something in really good shape like this, it's a great flip at $17. The next thing was a Children's Place Christmas sweater. Definitely get your Christmas sweaters out, guys. They're selling, and this sold for $22.50. You've seen these in my other videos. I have sold multiple Uncle Si Halloween costumes. This was second to the last one that I had, and it sold for $12.97. This little bracelet I just literally found in the bins, and come to find out it was actually a pretty good brand, a vintage brand of rhinestone bracelets. So this sold for $26. Next is just the basic J. Crew striped tee. I always try to pick up J. Crew, especially if it has some kind of cool or funky or novelty print. This had fish all over it. Didn't sell for much, but it sold for $15. Next, I sold this Victoria's Secret pink kind of two-sided t-shirt. Anytime you guys have something that has a print on the side, I would always highly suggest you kind of do something where you can see both pieces. It kind of helps it sell, but it sold for $16.35. Another basic bread and butter piece, J. Crew flannel. I believe this one was pre-owned. I did have a brand new one that sold as well. Didn't sell for much, but sold for $12.55. Next is the Joan Voss cardigan. Really nice, nice heavy weight. This sold for $26. It had nice big pockets in the front, and it was, a pretty good flip overall. I don't pick up too much Nike, but I do like picking up Nike or any type of athletic wear that has a vibrant print. I thought this would go for a little bit more, but once again, it was a very light item, so I didn't pay very much at all at the bins, and it sold for $13. Next, this is not a great brand. However, it was brand new with tags. It was a New Yorker company, kind of like a blazer, and had like a faux fur trim. It was brand new with tags. It was close to $100 brand new. However, it sold for $24 on eBay. Next, I have a Not Your Daughter's jeans. These were like velvet pants. I do very well with velvet pants or soft cord pants of any kind. These were brand new with tags from the bins. It was a pretty good sale at $35.09. Next is a Fossil, kind of like a briefcase or messenger laptop bag. Unfortunately, the buyer never paid, so it's for sale again. And I think you've seen this ring in several other videos. For some reason, it's selling like crazy, like every single size. So this sold that particular day for $22.27. Next is kind of a bread and butter, not a real exciting brand, but however, it's kids and it was brand new with tags. There's just some Lee's boys jeans and it sold for $10. And we have Uncle Si again for Halloween costumes. I believe this was the very last one, and it sold for $11.67. As stated before, do not pass up on vintage underwear, slips, lingerie, bullet bras, all that type of stuff. People do definitely buy these, especially if you have like a cool color like this blue was, and it's sold for $17. And here's the ring again. I believe this is the very last size. It's so funny because I had these for sale for maybe 3 years. Nobody really was buying them. And then all of a sudden, the last month, they've sold out. So that's kind of funny how things go. Next is vintage. I love this dress, and I've said before in other videos, I love to pick up vintage dresses. This I was actually asking closer to $80 for. But hey, when she offered me $60, I figured that's a good deal. So we went ahead and sold that for $60. Next after that is another vintage item, but more like 80s, 90s. It was a sweater dress. It's a plus size, which was great. And it had really good material with like a rabbit fur Angora blend. This sold for $35.99. It did have a little bit of pearls coming off, but I noted that in the description. Next is another J. Crew. Like I said before, I really like to pick up J. Crew that has some type of novelty or cool print, and this had owls all over it, sold for $19. Another J. Crew piece, this was like a cardigan sweater with wool blend. It had like moon and stars, embroidered pieces on it. This sold for $24.63. Next, you'll see this vintage scarf. Was in excellent condition. I looked up this brand, never heard of it before, but apparently it's a designer brand overseas. And so this was an excellent flip considering I probably paid maybe 10 cents for it at the very most at the bin. So it sold for $30. Another kind of vintage children's wear. This is like a Christmas nightgown, or you can wear it as a dress. And it sold for $19. Next, you see a Michael Kors, kind of like a trench coat. It could be a raincoat. I was asking a little bit more for it, but honestly, it was pretty lightweight at the bins. So anytime I factor that into my offers, I say, hey, how much did I really pay at the bins, right? And if it's $30, sure, I'll take it. So that was a decent flip. This was part of a Macy's liquidation box of pajamas. A lot of the pieces were just one piece, not two. So I didn't sell this for a whole lot. I believe it was like $14, but either way, it was a quick flip. This is a chunky knit vintage Orvis. Orvis does really well for me, especially if you have the kind of over-the-top prints, the heavy knits and things like that. I love those bulky 90s look. This sold for $26.78. Next, you see this brand new with tags escape dress. Got this from a Macy's and Bloomingdale's liquidation box a while back. And it's a plus size, which was great. And so this sold for $63.56. This was a flip that I wasn't quite sure why I picked it up at the bins, but then it sold like within 2 days, so it was totally worth it. Very lightweight, like a mosquito netting, sold for $18.89. Next was a vintage cachet, kind of like a formal gown, really pretty, had a lot of rhinestones, a crisscross design. Once again, I kind of showed the front and the back, because some pictures, it actually helps sell the item to see what all you're buying. So this sold for $57.50. I usually don't pick up Dress Barn too much, but anytime it has a kind of cool bohemian look or just, a modern look, I'll go ahead and pick it up, and there is still a market. This sold for $22.49. This bridal gown actually is like a little girl's flower girl dress. I've had this for sale, I kid you not, for probably 5 years and would not let it go and would not redonate it because it was brand new with tags. And it finally sold for $57, so that was a good thing. Next is another pair of kind of soft cords. I love to pick these up. They're very lightweight, and I love the vibrant color ones, the ones that are a little unusual. So this sold for $15.88. Next, this is a vintage brand actually, but I loved it because it was elegant. This particular brand, Louise Green, is actually kind of high-end for hats, I believe. And so this sold for a little bit less than I was looking for, but hey, it's not even summer and it sold. So I went ahead and took it at $30. Next but not least is a vintage, I think you just saw this in my last haul, a vintage rhinestone denim jacket. How in the world it sold as fast as it did I have no idea. But the girl seems so excited about it. So that just went out today. It was just in my haul video of vintage finds. Guys, do not pass up on cool vintage pieces. The cool thing about this coat, not only is it like bedazzled completely, is it actually had a couple little like color bleed spots, and it still sold regardless. So don't pass up on the things that you think are a little over the top, because there is a market for them, trust me. So the total numbers is I sold 45 items, which is kind of sad. I'm not even gonna lie. My average sale price was $35.27. And I actually had a total sales of $1,587. And then after eBay takes all their taxes and their fees and all this other stuff, it was just a little bit over 1,000, maybe 1,060. So not the greatest sales week. It actually sucked, let's be honest. But luckily, Poshmark made up for it. Some days I actually had more sales on Poshmark than I did on eBay, which is always surprising. So please stay tuned for my next video for what's sold on Poshmark, and hopefully next week our sales will get even better. So thank you for joining, and I hope you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.